Welcome to the Julie Laughton Living Podcast, the place to get advice, tips, and tricks to building the life and luxury home of your dreams with 30-year business owner, designer, and builder, Julie Laughton. It all starts with a good plan. This is Julie Laughton Living.
Welcome back to another episode of Julie Laughton Podcast. Today we're going to talk about being a designer and a general contractor. What's that like? And how do you do it if you want to become, do the same thing I do. And before we get started, make sure you check out my 7 simple steps. It's on my website. It explains everything you'd ever want to know about this business from conception. Okay, so what's it like to be a designer and a contractor? The good thing about it is that you truly do provide. In my case, I'm able to provide a true one-stop shop to the client where they don't have to go else except with, calling me, and then everything else is done for them. I mean, there's one phone call and the job is done. If you don't work with someone like myself, you have to hire up to 11 individual people and then basically use them and pay all them individually. And good luck keeping up with that because it's ridiculously overwhelming. And if you don't have a good team, they don't get along, then you're managing that and all the stress and drama. But with me, it's just me. And there's no drama and no stress because I handle all that behind the scenes, and I'm running the show. I'm coordinating all the plans, the submittals, the 5 engineers, and then as the designer, and then I'm running the job as a contractor, physically in the field every day. So it's impossible to make them drop the ball or, finger point, or I'm not waiting for anyone. The team works, like I was talking about before. The team works seamlessly like synchronized swimming. We all work together to get to the end line. The end, and everybody in this business, understands that. So you pick up the phone and we coordinate every single day. It's like a beautiful thing when you have a team, a tried and true team. But being the designer and the contractor, for me personally, it makes it so much easier because I know the plans. I know what's on the plans. I know what to, do every day, meaning I know the project scope because I designed it. So I can just show up and I already know what the materials are. I don't even have to look at the plan. But of course, we have plans and this wonderful program called Build Effective that has everything ready for the project managers. But for me, it's simple, going the conception to completion. And everything's in my head, but of course, it's not it has to be put on paper for the others. But that's the cool part about being the designer and the contractor, because you already know what you're building before you start. So in the very beginning, when I used to work in New York City, there was always a team. It was commercial, so it got flawless. It was beautiful because everybody was professional and everything ran like clockwork. But then I got in residential and I was like, oh my God, got this shit show. Because either the clients are picking the wrong people or the client picks one bad guy and then he picks a bunch of bad guys. And or the client picks people that don't know each other to work together, and that never works. But it was just a nightmare. So after being, introduced to jobs, basically I got a lot of calls in the beginning of my career where the client was just in a mess, and they call me and then I'd kind of clean up the mess and take over. So half of my business was cleaning up the mess and taking over a job that had failed or gone south. So I have a lot of experience at that. But what it did is provided the homeowner with one source, me, to talk to and to get their project done. And I would champion the project for them, in their best interest, and do it right by the I like to follow the rules. And it's nothing better than having the one person, one point of contact you can trust and rely on to get everything done. And you can just kind of, as a homeowner, then you can kind of relax and only participate when needed. So it's huge to have the one point of contact that helps you run the job where you don't have to do the work, because you're not the client, you're not experienced to do this thinking you are. And that's another whole podcast. So if you're thinking about becoming a contractor like me to add to your portfolio or add to your, your professional services, it's quite simple, actually. You just have to, if you're a woman, you should be in project management, of course, And then, work for a contractor and get your experience in the field, because you have to have the experience in the field to actually, qualify for the license and all that good stuff. And, taking the test is, no different than studying for anything. And there's always test booklets that you can use, before you study. So if you're actually in the business and you actually are in the dirt, like I was always in the dirt my whole career, meaning getting it done in the dirt, it's quite simple, but you just have to be to take on that responsibility of being the contractor. It's huge. I mean, it's a lot of responsibility, a lot of rules, regulations, codes. It's a whole thing you have to follow to get to be a contractor. But if you're ready for that, it's a wonderful thing. So my business, of course, over the years, over the last 25 years, has changed, because being a one-stop shop, it makes it seamless and stress-free, and it provides the client with one source. And then we get to manage everything for them as one, company, which makes it so much easier, because again, I have the tried and true team. So with the tried and true team in place, it's flawless. It's seamless, I should say. We're not guessing who are we going to hire. We're not waiting for anyone. So it's just a huge benefit to have a true one-stop shop. Thank you again for joining me on another Julie Laughton podcast. It's been wonderful explaining all this to you, and there's nothing better than being a designer and a general contractor. So think about it. If you want to do that, reach out if you need any guidance on that. But it's a wonderful thing, and it's the best thing I ever did, is to become stop shop, because it helps my clients, and then of course it helps us to work more seamlessly. So check out my 7 simple steps, and we'll see you on the next one.
Thank you for joining us for this episode of Julie Laughton Living. For more information or to connect with Julie one-on-one, visit julielaughtonliving.com. And don't forget, it all starts with a good plan.